Hello everybody and welcome back to another video review here on the Jurassic Park Podcast YouTube channel. I am Brad Jost, the host of the Jurassic Park Podcast, and today, if you didn't guess already, we're going to be taking a look at the QUETZALCOATLUS here in this odd box. I'm loving this figure so far, the way it looks, everything about it. I've had it sitting here for a little while. I am super excited to unbox this thing finally. So let's start off by taking a look at this thing in the odd packaging here. So strangely, it is very sideways. No way around that. It's kind of hard to get a good look at it from this perspective. You can see the nice wings and the top of the head and the back, the buttons on there, of course, but yeah, the packaging is a little odd for me. I am not one to have picked up a lot of the flying species. I like the Tapijara, however you say that one, and the Dimorphodons. I don't think I've picked up any of the Pteranodons at all, so this is really my first big winged creature here, and it is massive, so I understand the issues here with the box, but I don't necessarily love this box all that much. You know, while I do like the packaging itself, it does look pretty cool. It's just the way that it's packaged is a little weird. I would have rather them, which we'll talk about later on, put this thing in a different pose, and I think that would have really helped with the packaging. And who knows, maybe even sold it a little bit better. I really don't know how well this thing sold overall, but I think for something like this, it would have looked a lot cooler in a different pose. So this QUETZALCOATLUS is a Mega Dual attack creature here. It does have the buttons here and here in the back. The back one is kind of pressed in at the moment because of the straps there. So it's a cool looking feature. The head bobs, the wings move. I am very excited to see that wingspan because this creature here is as far as I know, the biggest known flying creature to ever have existed, and that is amazing. That is truly amazing. Every depiction of this thing that you see, it looks so incredible, so cool, and so scary. Now, while this paint job and this look doesn't necessarily seem all that scary, when you see a giant bird, probably something along the size of a giraffe, that's gonna be scary no matter what, right? I mean, look at Owen. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean this thing's gonna be huge? It's gonna be giraffe-like? Oh no, you gotta be kidding me. This thing's like a giraffe? What? What do you mean? It can reach up into trees without flapping its wings? Are you kidding me? This thing, why am I on this box? So basically, that's really just what's going through his head at any given moment. And especially if this thing was in Jurassic World, he would have freaked out, flipped his lid, and, you know, asked Mattel to create a better box. But that's besides the point. So I am very excited to actually take a look at this. So let's dive into the box itself here again. Like I said, you have that Dino Rivals package here, very cool looking. In the background, you do see the button for the top, and underneath, kind of hidden in the back, you see the back button for the wings, I believe, yeah. And that's it. You got the T-Rex facing off against the Triceratops there, very cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back. Alright, so this is a better look at what this thing is capable of. You do see the Super Chomp, which the head goes up and down, and the Super Wing Strike, where the wings go up and down and flap. That's very cool. You can see it facing off against the Concavinator there. Down in the bottom left corner, you do see the Suchomimus. These are the Dino Rivals versions. So the Suchomimus is the yellow one, the one that I don't necessarily like at all. And then the Mega Dual Attack Stegosaurus, which I do actually like that one quite a bit. I warmed up to it. You also have the collector's card in there, and I'll say that this thing is pretty impressive. I think the stats are really looking good. We'll take a closer look at them in a few. And of course, don't forget that this is a Jurassic World Facts app dinosaur, so make sure to scan something, the wing, and add it to your collection. We'll find that in a little bit. but I am tired of looking at it. I want to get this thing out of there and play with it and see what this thing's all about. I am so excited. I hope you guys are too. Let's dive in. Should we do how do we do this review? I literally have no idea where to put this. Now I'm saying, if this was in a different pose, we'd have a great review lined up for you. I'm not sure what to do otherwise. Hold on, 1 second. All right, so we're gonna make this up as we go along. This thing is really, really cool looking. I love the look of these wings, the wingspan itself, which I think does go out just a tad more, actually. So yeah, let's line that up, because that looks even cooler. There is a bit of a gap. Hopefully my audio's coming through okay. But there is a bit of a gap here in the wings, so if I want to, let's make it a little bit more seamless there. Looks pretty good. These wings are really, really impressive. They're really long. I don't have all the facts about this dinosaur on hand, but I think it was something like 40-something feet with the wingspan, so that is, it seems close. In this scale, I don't have the scaled measurements or anything, but I think it looks pretty close when you line up a human or a dinosaur or a truck or something like that. The neck is very, very long on this thing. The body looks like it has kind of a bit of feathering on it, and the arms itself, so that's a cool little feature there. While it doesn't have feathers on it, the sculpting on it kind of indicates feathering, so that's pretty cool. And it's just an impressive looking design. I really like this thing. It looks really, really cool. There are so many different depictions of this creature here, and I think this one is fairly good, and it's fairly common, at least, throughout all the different depictions that you can find. This looks pretty accurate to a lot of those. I don't know what the official one is, but this looks pretty accurate. I'd say it looks a bit more accurate than the Kenner version of the Quetzalcoatlus, which was a very, very cool looking creature. But it was certainly a bit more cartoony, which is not a bad thing, I guess. This one kind of has the cartoony elements as well, but in a very, very different way. Yeah, I think overall I would probably say that this one is more of a favorite of mine rather than that other one, the old one from Kenner. So I am very interested in this one. I think it's a great looking display piece. Again, I don't really love the pose of it overall, but just looking at it, it is pretty impressive. Let's talk about the paint job itself. So you have this very, very wild head up here with the super orange beak. You have inside in the mouth, you have a very pink tongue and mouth area. Down the side of the neck, you have this teal color, a bit of orange as well, and the purplish blue on the bill up on top, and a bit of orange, of course. And on the wings themselves, they are very purpley blue with kind of another variation of purple or something like that up in the top portion of the wings themselves. And it kind of looks like it's kind of trying to simulate, I guess, a veiny looking wing, but it also kind of looks like water dripping down like your windshield or something like that. It kind of gives you that kind of cool look to it. So I'm almost imagining like this thing flying through the wind and the rain, just kind of with water pouring off of its wings. It actually kind of looks really cool. I actually like that a lot. But you have this nice tan undertone here, kind of sort of along the lines of the ice cream look from some of the fossils and stuff that they've produced over time. The ice cream coloring of a lot of those pieces as well. So it's kind of got that with the speckles in there. I like it. I think it looks pretty good, and it kind of helps to blend that like feathering look on the creature itself. On the other side, you have that scan code. You have a little bit of purple in the legs underneath there. And that's about it. It's just that one tone there. So yeah. That's pretty cool, though. I like it a lot. I do like this thing quite a bit. It is a very mean-looking thing outside of that coloring, but the pose is something that kind of bothers me a bit there. So I like this thing. I don't know what you guys think, but Whew, let's go ahead and take a look at the posability and the action of this dinosaur. No, you guys are gonna attack me for saying dinosaur. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. All right, let's take a look. So, the legs themselves do move quite a bit. So sorry if I'm not in focus here, but the legs move a lot more than I actually expected. So that is a very, very nice feature there. I am completely not in focus. But I do like that these legs move so much. Like, this thing can literally just, like, sit down, chilling. You know, he's just chilling, just waiting for coffee at the coffee shop.
QUETZALCOATLUS, you have your mocha venti latte, giant, I don't know.
That was ridiculous. But we're going to go with it. And it also does, like, a full, if you wanted to stand up, like it wants to take a swan dive or a QUETZALCOATLUS dive. But the thing that I really would have appreciated is if this thing was able to stand in that completely menacing pose that the QUETZALCOATLUS is always seen standing in. And it's kind of like what you saw in Jurassic Park 3 with the Pteranodons. They stood kind of like on their elbows with the wings, and it creates such a menacing look for the flying creature. And I wish you could have done that with this. So, maybe in the future we can get that. But with the wings here, you do have a lot of motion for some reason. I don't know why that's necessary, but outside of packaging, you can go all the way down, you can go all the way up. I don't really know where you guys like to keep them. I would probably keep it around there. But because this makes no sense, I don't know if it could fly. But let's go ahead and take a look at the motion itself for the wings. So, trying to hold this as best as possible and get this in frame, you have the wing motion there. So that actually works really, really well. That's good. That is perfect, because this is one of those creatures that when you're playing, if you're in the playroom or the toy room or outside, like, imagine how cool this thing would look flying around over top of all the other dinosaurs. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. With the head itself, you do have this snapping feature. That is very cool. I do like that a lot. That's awesome. And they both are very articulate and work very well. The head itself, you can move it on your own if you really do want to. The mouth doesn't really move on its own outside of that button. But that's about it. That's really it. The leg will probably be doing something ridiculous like this with the holding there. But what are you going to do? But yeah, I really would have liked if these wings kind of folded in, which I'm not going to try to do, but did a pattern like this. But also if the arms faced forward, that would have really solved the issue. And the head, I guess the head too. Sorry, this review is an absolute mess because this thing is so giant. But if the neck was bent down and the arms could go forward, imagine how cool that would look. That would be so, so awesome. But let's actually go ahead and compare this. Oh my god, this thing is a mess to hold. Let's go ahead and compare this. Somehow, we'll figure it out. We're going to compare it with some humans and other dinosaurs. Let's take a look. Alright, so that is kind of the best I could do for you guys. We have this thing showcased up against two Dimorphodons. You got the one here and the one over there. You have the Tapiwara, however you pronounce that one. I'm always going to mess it up. And that one kind of has the same posing issue where it really can only do one thing. And I had to prop that up. You have the Suchomimus back there, one of my favorite pieces. It kind of has that similar structure to the neck and the head and all that, so I put that up there. And then in the background, you have the Nasutoceratops. I don't know. I just wanted to showcase it against that. And of course, you got John Hammond here. So you can really tell, like, that thing is pretty accurate. If this thing was up on its feet and, had that wingspan down and in front of itself, it could probably be the size of a giraffe or the Suchomimus or something like that. So it would be really, really impressive and scary and really cool to put on your shelf and stuff like that, or play around with in the case that like these things get loose and they're kind of, instead of flying around, they're trying to get into small closed areas to attack people. That would be really cool. But instead you're kind of just relegated to flying around or just sitting getting some coffee. But that's about it. So I do like the size though. I think it's a pretty good size. Like I said, the wingspan is probably somewhat accurate there. If you got like a 40-something foot wingspan, what is Hammond? He's got to be 5'6", maybe something like that. 5, we'll say 5 foot even. 5, 10, 15, 20. So okay, so maybe it is a bit smaller than it should be. You might be talking about like double that length, but still, I think it's pretty cool, pretty awesome looking, and yeah, this is fun. I like this a lot. I think for playing, you could actually get this thing. Look at that, the size of Hammond. I don't know if I can balance this. Sorry, Hammond. There you go. That's pretty cool. Move this back over here and get a good look at it. Oh man, they're working together. They're working together. Oh, sorry, Hammond. Oh no, they're working together. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but I think this is pretty cool, pretty playable for a lot of different features here when you're flying around. I really, really like this thing. This is fun. But there you have it. That is the Quetzalcoatlus. Very, very cool looking creature. I do like this thing. Whether it is completely anatomically correct or accurate, I don't know. It might be a tad off, but I think it's a pretty big winged creature. It does replicate the animal as much as possible. I think Mattel did a great job with this one. It looks fun. It's a wild color scheme, something that I really have grown to like here with the Mattel stuff. I'm starting to actually like wild color schemes. That's not anything I would have said really in the past, but this is a fun one. I'm loving the colors here, and playability, like I said, is a lot of fun. So what do you guys think? Is this one that you're going to be picking up? Have you picked it up? I know it's been out there for a little while now. I think I got mine on Amazon. So yeah, just let me know if you got this one. Do you like it? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts? I like it. I think it's fun. So what I want you guys to go do is follow us here on YouTube. So subscribe, share this video around, comment below, let everybody know, hit the notification bell, do all those things. We need you to do all those things to help us grow the channel over here. Go to Twitter at Jurassic Park Pod. Follow us over there. On Instagram and Facebook, just search for Jurassic Park Podcast. Join our Facebook group by searching for the Jurassic Park Podcast. And of course, over on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere else you can find podcasts, just go ahead and download the Jurassic Park Podcast for some pretty unique content, I think. And of course, head to JurassicParkPodcast.com to find all the latest news, information, articles, whatever we have going on over there. We'd really appreciate it if you followed along. Thank you so much for watching this video, and enjoy.